Hey everybody, this is Ian Floyd with the Love and Sensibility Podcast. You know, when I want to get inspired to take action, this is exactly where I come to my girl, Ioana Garrett, on the Success Stalkers radio show.
You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode 30 with Jade Gold. Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Ioana Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am your host, Ioana Garrett, and this is another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. I am simply thrilled and excited to introduce my guest today, Jade Gold. So Jade, are you ready to stalk some success today?
I am ready.
Outstanding. Well, Jade Gold, the owner of Prop Rock Concepts and Productions, Inc., has literally raised the gold standard of excellence as a mother, woman, and entrepreneur. Jade prefers to inspire women around the world with her disciplined actions rather than numerous words. This proud mother of two has transformed what appeared to be insurmountable obstacles into actionable life lessons to live by for thousands who follow Jade Gold. In 2008, she was awarded the contract to design the Latin Grammy Awards, and in 2009, she was honored by the International Entertainment Society for Best Event Decor and Best Team Effort. In 2010, Jade was named Who's in Black Houston, and in 2011, she was honored by the Houston Sun as one of Houston's future business legends, presented by Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, and graced numerous articles and magazine covers in several publications such as Modern Luxury, the Houston Sun, Houston Style Magazine, and Go Local. Jade was also selected for and won Dancing with the Houston Stars in 2012 and has been featured on 2 reality TV shows. She's received many other awards and honors, and most recently she has been named one of Houston's top 50 professionals and entrepreneurs. Now transitioning into her purpose, Jade is set to launch her latest venture, Jade Gold Fitness, health coach and personal training. So Jade, I've given our listeners just a little overview. I want you to take a minute if you can. Tell us about you personally because we want to get to know you and then give us an overview of your business.
You know, it's so funny when you put things together and you have to hear accolades about yourself and you go, wow, who is that? But I'm blessed. And, you know, I think if I wanted people to know anything about me, I'm a woman of God first. I'm a mother second. And I'm just like everyone else. And I say that very humbly because I believe that we all have the ability to influence, inspire people that are in our circle of influence. And the only difference between me and anyone else is that I just made a promise to myself that all of those things that I aspire to do in life, all of those things that God had given me or purposed me to do, that one way or another, I was going to do it. And so I consider myself, a serial entrepreneur. I've always been allergic to a corporate job, even though I had to, take a corporate position, right after I graduated college. But I just find that working for yourself, there is absolutely just no better feeling. You appreciate the long hours, you appreciate the hard work because you own it, it's yours, and really at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
I could not agree with you more, Jade. Well, Jade, we're going to dive way deep into your journey in just a minute. But before we do, we always like to start off here at Success Talkers Radio with a success quote to really get that motivational ball rolling. So take it away.
You know, I think if I had to quote anything, if you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. And it keeps it simple, but at the end of the day, it takes doing something you've never done to be able to achieve the things that you want to have.
So, Jay, can you give us an example of, how you've applied that specific quote to your journey?
Well, I know when entrepreneurs are getting started, a lot of times there's three things that are the largest obstacles to starting their own business. Excuse me. Number one is finances. They always think, I've got to go and I've got to get a small business loan, or I have to have someone backing me. And so finances become the number one reason I believe that people don't go out and achieve what they want to achieve. But in my opinion, you can start small. And I think that a lot of times we have big visions and we have big dreams, and so we always want to start at the top of that dream. But I can think of, just a couple of things. For instance, I had a 401k, and I had a vision, and I had an idea. And I thought, you know what? I can't go out and get a 20,000 square foot warehouse. I can't hire 50 employees from the jump. I can't go out and hire tax attorneys and do all of those things that might be needed from the very beginning. But what I can do is find a small project with a certain amount of cash, and I actually started my business with literally $5,000 in cash, and it was a blessing that I did have that saved. And I started. I think that's the second obstacle. We dream it, we think it, we put the blueprints out for it, but you just never start. And so that's the second thing that I would say is you've got to actually put all of those things that you're thinking, get them out of your idea box, off of the piece of paper, and actually put action. So those are two of the biggest things that I just wasn't afraid to do. I would rather have failed trying, starting, and putting something into action versus never doing it at all.
That's so powerful. Thank you for saying that, because you're absolutely right. So many entrepreneurs, they really feel like they can't get started unless they have all the pieces in place, right. The money, everything. And I can vaguely remember, when I started my boutique a few years ago, I just felt like I didn't have enough income to get started. I mean, I needed this, I needed that. And I can remember one of my, a really good friend said to me, because I kept putting off the launch date, kept putting off the grand opening. And he kept saying, what are you doing? Are you ever going to open? And I'm saying, well, I don't have this in place. I don't have that. And he's like, listen, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it.
That's right.
And I got offended. I was like, what do you mean I'm never going to do it? He's like, you're never going to do it. And it was like in that moment when he said that, I had that aha moment. And I was like, you know what? He's right. Because I put it off already 3 times.
That's right.
And so he said, use what you have. Just get started.
Just get started.
And when I did that, I'm telling you, Jade, the rest is history. I mean, and I was successful with it. So, the key is just get started.
Exactly.
Just start.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Like Nike. Just
do it.
Well, Jade, also here at Success Talkers Radio, we are all about the story, the journey, because I know you've had an amazing journey, but we want to focus on, if we can, for just a moment, if you can take a few minutes just to tell us about maybe a challenge or a time in your life where maybe you experienced a failure, and then share some lessons with us that you learned from that failure.
Oh, wow. We need a whole show just for the failures. You know what? I believe in being transparent. And so, for anyone that's in that listening audience, number one, I'm a single mom. Number two, I am an entrepreneur. Number three, I am a youth minister. So I'm busy. I think that out of all of the lessons that I've learned were these kind of 3 golden nuggets. Number one, I should have gotten a mentor a lot sooner. Sometimes we jump out into these things and we have absolutely no guidance whatsoever. But there is always someone out there that is willing to guide you, give you, their failures, their mistakes, so you don't have to go through it. And now with the age of social media, you can practically YouTube anything and find out, information. So getting a mentor would be number one failure that I had that I would have done and would do now much, much sooner. Number two, I think that taking on too much was another big thing. I'm one of those do-it-yourself, fix-it people, go for it, I'm strong, but I think I had too many strong moments where if I would have realized that I had taken on too much, I was putting in too many hours, I needed help sooner, but I just never asked for it. And so failing to ask for the help that is needed is just as much a failure as sometimes any other one is not asking for the help. And then I would have to say the third, oh my God, failure. I didn't really have a business plan. And this is another mistake I believe entrepreneurs have, because we're creative and we have all of the ideas and they're rolling around in our head. And if you're like me, you probably have about 100 of those great ideas.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is you start projects, and all of a sudden you realize you've got 100 irons in the fire, and you really haven't completed any of them. And so that can also be a failing point. It was certainly one of mine, because I started adding on all of these different things to my various one big project, and before I knew it, I just had too many things on my plate, and I hadn't completed any of them. So I think they ended up being some really big failures. But I also believe this: there is no successful business, there is no successful entrepreneur without failures.
Absolutely. I'm so happy you said that, because every person that I've known to be successful have all had challenges. They've all had some failures, and large failures and small. Some have had more than others. I myself have had many, but they're always directly linked to
That's right.
success. So failure really is, it really is success.
I believe it.
When I think about it.
It's success in progress.
Yes, and I like that. That's good. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, Jay, let's go forward as we transition to the other end of the spectrum, which is what we call the aha moment here at Success Talkers Radio, because just like you've had lessons you've learned from your failures, you've also had some amazing ideas that have helped you to become successful. So just tell us one if you can, Jade. And remember, this is a story. We love stories here at our station. So if you can just show us how you actually turn that aha moment into success.
Wow, disparity is a great aha moment. And I was in a position where I started to hate my corporate job, and I know that there are a lot of people that are in that position. They would love to start their own business, and so a lot of times they'll turn to network marketing or something that seems more individual, and they end up spending more money and they don't really own anything yet. And for me, I think that moment came actually as I was going through a divorce, and I don't have any shame in saying that, but that was my aha moment. It was like, okay, what am I going to do now? And it was a time where things were not perfect. And I have to say that a lot of times your best moments are in those imperfect moments, because we wait for those perfect times. And for me, I was right in the middle of going through a divorce, and I was like, okay, what is my next business venture? I don't want to stay in corporate America. And that was that moment where I said, okay, I'm going to do or die. I'm going to make this thing work one way or another. And I took $5,000 out of my 401k account, and I said, okay, here's my idea. I want to do special events, and I want to be able to decorate in some shape, form, or fashion. And I started to do as much research as possible about the industry. I made some connections, and I said, look, I've got 6 pieces of furniture, and I'm going to start, this business called Prop Rock. And I went to someone and I said, I want you to allow me to do this for free. And trust me, if you are an entrepreneur, you will give something away. You have to. And that's what I did to get my name out there, and started networking like crazy. And so in the front end, that's all I did was network, find out whose lounge I could do, whose special event I could do, whose VIP could I do. And that's how I got started. And it was in that moment that I realized that I had the potential, and the only thing that was going to make me look like a brand new company was if I made myself look brand new. And so from day one, I just decided I was going to come out of the box like I had been doing it for 10 years.
I love it. That is so key. I love how you said that, how you started from the beginning, as far as from day one, networking and getting yourself out there as if you had already been in business for a long time. And that's so critical. So tell me, if you can, just take one more minute and just tell me a little bit about what you actually do with Prop Rock.
Well, it's an event company, and I'm considered an event designer. And we have furniture that we basically rent for any occasion. It could be a VIP party, it could be a wedding, it could be a convention, anything where you would use props, furniture props, for instance, as part of your decor. I come in and I actually execute that and full event planning. So it could be the Latin Grammy, it could be a wedding, it could be a baby shower. And we just go in and talk with the client and essentially set the event up for them.
Wow, that's awesome. I know, I'm excited for you because I know you said this coming weekend you'll be at Essence Festival Music.
Yes, we will. We're going to be doing an event for Prince himself.
All right, that's going to be
definitely.
fun.
I'm excited. He's the one person I might get giddy about.
Yeah, you can. How could you not get giddy about Prince? Well, Jade, because I know you're a success stalker, tell us any new projects that you're working on that you're really excited about in your business or your career.
Well, my latest venture is Jade Gold Fitness, and I have been completely blessed to find my purpose in life. And so I have moved from kind of the event entertainment industry, which is almost secondary now, into full-time fitness training. I do full-time speaking and coaching and motivational speaking as it relates to fitness and health.
Awesome. And so I saw your picture on Facebook, for your fitness company, and I'm telling you, it looks amazing. I saw some of your clients as well that you've been working with, and I tell you, they look incredible. I wish I was in Houston.
Well, we also do virtual training, so we can do that.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. So is that all on your website?
The website is it's coming, but right now everything is on Facebook. I'm actually getting ready to launch a TV series called Living Live and Fit in Houston. And I also have a radio show myself, which is 1340 KOLE on 9 a.m. every Friday. But everything right now is on Facebook. We've got so much coming up, everything from cooking series to kind of like a Dear Jade column as it relates to fitness. And then, of course, I do personal training with my clients as well.
Okay, well, we definitely would love to hear more about that later, and definitely come back on the show and tell us more about it.
Absolutely, I'll do that.
Well, Jay, let's shift the focus for just a minute because I want to shine the spotlight on you. And if you can just tell me, what is your proudest entrepreneurial moment?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say it's my latest venture, which is Jade Gold Fitness. I love prop rock. It is my baby. It was my true first entrepreneur project, but I would have to say it's my latest project.
Love it. I wanted to ask you this, because, when we're entrepreneurs, we always go through these roller coaster of emotions, and sometimes you can be up today, down tomorrow, within the next 24 hours you're ready to quit. So tell us, Jade, how do you keep your focus, and keep the end result in mind?
I think you have to remember your why, and I think that goes across the board for many things in your life. Once you have established, what that why is, you always keep that in mind. And my children are my why. No matter what happens, I'm responsible for them. And whereas you're in corporate America, you receive that steady paycheck. But for me, as an entrepreneur, there's always that something that has to push you. And if it's just money, you'll fail from the beginning, because there are times when every entrepreneur is going to be short on that, short on funds, short on clients, or whatever. But I'm never short on my why, and my why is my children.
Jade, that is so key. And I really hope that our listeners are getting some really, great takeaways from that, because that's what's going to bring the money. Follow your passion and the money will come.
That's right. I love the quote, always have.
Well, this is one of my favorite questions also is, our segment of this interview is called the Success Round. And what we like to do here is just kind of go back and forth. So we'll do a little bit of boxing, if that's okay. So what I want to ask is this. What is it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you started?
Fear. Bottom line. Don't even need to think about it. Fear, because you're afraid of failing. You're afraid that you won't have enough money. You're afraid that you'll start something you can't finish. You're afraid what people will think. You go to school, if you do have a college degree and you think, is the education I received enough for me to be out on my own and starting my own business? I mean, I could keep going down the list, but at the end of the day, fear stood behind all of them.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the things that most entrepreneurs who get started that they deal with. So how did you overcome your fears?
I've always had passions bigger than my fears. And it's
Back to your why, huh?
that's my why. That's my why. I think that at the end of the day, you have followers, you have leaders, and you have to choose which one am I. Am I going to follow someone's system, or am I going to lead and create one? And I've just always been one to think out of the box and decide that I would rather lead the movement than follow one.
Oh, that's good. That's a great takeaway right there. Well, what is the best business advice you've ever received, Jade?
I've been blessed to, along the way, gain those mentors I said that I didn't, seek out in the beginning. And I think that one of the best takeaways really comes from planning. Again, it is important and it's so key to actually have a plan. And I think as entrepreneurs, we plan as we go, and we forget some of the very key elements because the creativity kicks in. And across the board, all of the mentors that I've ever worked with made me create plans. And I don't necessarily mean a business plan, but projections. And so now we're talking finances, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about social media, and all of those other things outside of just making a sale or bringing customers through the door. It's the entire scope of projects, and that was something I really had issues with. But across the board, everyone that was successful in their field, I don't care if it was network marketing or real estate or whatever it was, they had a foundational plan that helped them get there.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't believe that, of course, we know that no one plans to fail, but without a plan, you will fail. So
Absolutely. I've heard, now, of course, I know the term exit strategy, but I had never heard that term before. I'm thinking, why do I need to have an exit strategy? Why do I need to have a way to get out of what I'm doing? But that's part of the plan, is you have to know how you're either going to sell your business or move on from it or have somebody take over it if it's a family member. So even something as simple as an exit strategy was important.
You're just dropping some incredible golden nuggets. You have the perfect last name, Ms. Gold.
Love it.
Dropping some golden nuggets on us today. Well, do you have an internet resource or a business tool that you can share with our listeners?
That I use to gather information?
Something that you're using to build your business. Maybe, I don't know if it's an app, or is there something special you use to build your business, like, a tool, internet resource?
I don't. I do so much on social media, and it's amazing some of the great minds and golden nuggets, that I grab from people that are on my social media circle. But, so much can be found.
That's a tool.
So much can be found through resources of other people. And so if I have questions, if I don't know how to do something, if I can't find it, I reach out to people that are, in my circle. I even put stuff on Facebook. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Send me some information.
Right. And it's amazing how many people love to give their opinion or
Absolutely.
help you.
Yep.
Yeah, I do the same thing sometimes.
That's
well,
funny.
what book could you recommend to our listeners, Jade?
I know this is probably a little off the beaten path. There's tons of business books like Who Ate My Cheese, or Who Moved My Cheese rather, and 21 Laws of Leadership. But the one that I'm going to recommend is a book called Brokenness. And I just have a firm belief that no matter what you do in life, you have to have an humble spirit, because it allows you to be coachable, it allows you to be teachable, and it allows you to receive. But without humility, you can't receive any one of the three. And this book was given to me as a gift, and anyone I contact, you got to get it. It's called Brokenness, and right now the author's name is escaping my head, but there's only one, and it's a short read, but highly recommended.
Okay, I will research it and look it up, and we will make sure we add that to your show notes page on our website, or I'll get back with you and make sure we get the author's name. Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, my last question, Jade, is I want you to just imagine for just a moment that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world, identical to Earth, but you knew no one. You still have all of the experience and knowledge you currently have today. Let's say your food is taken care of, your shelter's taken care of. So all those things are taken care of, but you only have $500 and a laptop. What would you do in the next 7 days?
That's a great question. Let's see, $500 in 7 days.
And you have a laptop. You also have a laptop.
And I have a laptop.
And all of your needs are taken care of.
And all my needs are taken care of. You know, I would have to say I'd have to find a way for my $500 to make money for me. So the first thing that I would do is I would get on the internet and research. You know, I'd have to think about this, I guess, but I'm going to find a way for that money to make money. It'd be no different if you won lotto. You don't want to spend your earnings, you want to spend the interest. So I would have to do some research, and I can't say off the cuff of my head what that would be, but I'm going to find a way for that money to start making money. So even if I invest $100 of the $500, I need to find a way for it to start making some kind of return. So I guess that would be my first research.
But let's say you had to start your business all over again, and so this is the point you're at. So what would you do within that 7 days
with
$500 starting your business?
Oh man!
And you have a laptop.
Well, now if it's my current business, I can work with that. If it's prop rock, that might be challenging. Let's see. Oh, you put me on the spot. Let's see.
I think you pretty much kind of answered a little bit of this question, though, prior, because, you know, when you talked about networking, you know, going out and just because you're in a brand new world, so you're going to need to find some new people to talk to.
Yeah, I'm going to let you lead me into that one because I'd be sitting there for a minute going, what are we going to do with this $500? Yeah, I think one of the easiest things to do would be starting to go out and meet people, talk to people, and network because, you know, one thing about an entrepreneur is they always say you can make something out of nothing. And I think, again, people will buy your passion. So I'm going to believe that with that $500, I'm going to go out and be as passionate as I can be about something, you know, whether it's selling furniture or fitness or something, and I'm going to start creating sales based on passion. And I firmly believe that people buy from who they like, and if you're passionate about what you're doing, you can sell jelly beans and the gold nuggets.
True. You're so right. Well, Jade, you know, hearing your journey, Jade, has been truly inspiring. And before we end, I want to end with this, though. If you could just give our listeners one parting piece of advice and guidance, and then share the best way they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
You know, there has been so many moments in my life that I've received golden nuggets. I have a book of them that I just write things down. But there's two things that I firmly believe, and it may not go for every entrepreneur, but my faith is so important. And I think that when you have guidance in your life, when you truly, whether it's a mentor, you know, whether you focus on prayer and meditation, you have to have the foundation of knowing who you are, strength and belief in being passionate about what you do. Because with that, you can be short on resources, you could be short on ideas, you could be short on support, but your foundation will allow you to move in almost any arena you want as long as you have created an internal system of strength and faith.
That's good. Thank you so much for sharing that with our audience. And so how can they find you? What's the best way to find you, Jade?
I say the best way to find me is actually on Facebook or Instagram. My Instagram is I am Jade Gold. And they can find me on Facebook at just Jade Gold, or they can go to facebook.com/JadeGold Fitness.
Thank you so much. Well, Jade, our listeners, I know they have gotten some incredible takeaways from you today, because I certainly have.
Thank you.
And some really good nuggets, some really golden nuggets from you today. So they can find out also everything we've been chatting about today. They can also find at successtalkersradio.com/JadeGold. So it'll all be there on our show notes page there for them to get as well. So we just appreciate you for being so generous with your time today, Jade, and being so transparent also.
Oh, well, thank
with
you
your
so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Absolutely. And I know you're working on some new projects, and, you know, once you get more, you know, grounded with that, we love to have you back on the show to come share with us your new project.
I'd love to, anytime.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, for everyone out there listening, thank you so much for tuning in today. And until our next episode, keep stalking success. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from these inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers Radio podcast on iTunes. And if you found value in this episode, give us a review, hopefully 5 stars. You may also visit us at successstalkers.com. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.